In international news, renowned chimpanzee researcher and conservationist Jane Goodall died today of natural causes, according to her namesake institute. Goodall was a tireless advocate for the protection and restoration of the natural world. Her extensive fieldwork with chimpanzees included documentation of the primates' emotions and personality traits. She's also credited with changing the overall way scientists study animals. The 91-year-old was on a speaking tour of the U.S. when she died. Now, just 2 years ago, she was at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington, where she spoke to students from local schools about protecting the environment.
Some people say, well, you know, what can I do? I can collect litter. I can plant trees. I can make a butterfly garden. Little things like that, but they won't really make a difference, will they? So if it was just you, no, it wouldn't make that much difference. But when you think in 70 countries around the world, there are young people of all ages, all doing the same sort of things, then you can see what a huge difference that will make.
The primatologist turned conservationist spun her love of wildlife into a lifelong campaign that took her from her home in the UK to Africa and then around the world. All right, for more on this, I'm joined live tonight by David Galbraith. He's the Director of Science at the Royal Botanical Gardens. David, thanks for being with us tonight. How important was Jane Goodall's work to the causes of conservation and wildlife protection?
Well, thank you, Matt. I think it was crucial. Not only was Dr. Goodall promoting the idea of conservation and how important it is, but she had a wonderful, warm way of connecting with people. And conservation work doesn't work unless people are committed, engaged, and really want it to happen. She was an absolutely excellent spokesperson for the things we'd like to preserve in nature.
What do you see as her most important contribution to science?
Very early on, in her 20s, she was a PhD student in Africa, and she's the person who first observed that chimpanzees could use tools. Until that point, and it was in the middle of field work, and she was just out there on her own with the chimps, most people, including scientists, believed that humans were the only species that could use tools of any kind. In fact, we kind of defined ourselves as the primate who uses tools. And Jane saw chimpanzees making little tools, taking pieces of grass or twigs deliberately from the environment, putting them down into termite holes and fishing out live termites, with those tools, and then eating the termites. This was the first time anyone had really seen and observed this, and it changed everybody's perception of our relationship with these relatives of ours and our place in the universe.
Now, she was just at RBG 2 years ago, like I said, bringing her global message to our local communities. What was it like to have her there, and what kind of response did she get from the crowd of students?
Well, it was overwhelming. You can see on the video clip that she's there at the podium with her chimpanzee, Mr. H. She took everywhere. She did a series of events during the day with students, and my understanding was that there was overwhelming response to her because she is so authentic. She spoke from the heart, and she made people really realize that science is not some cold discipline. It's about human beings connecting with nature and themselves. In the evening, she gave a wonderful talk on her life and her career and how she got to where she was then and how she is going to be remembered today.
That's the RBG's Director of Science, David Galbraith. David, thanks so much for taking the time for us tonight.
Pleasure, man.